Understanding tenth, hundredths, thousands, comparing and ordering decimal, rounding off decimal. Have you learned this topic yet?
I'm learning now. I just finished the worksheet today.
Okay, so
I just started like
to
yesterday.
begin with, yeah, 1/10 means 1/10. Okay, the 10 here is pronounced as 10. So 1/100. The hundredths is pronounced as 100. And thousands is 1/1000. Okay, so if it's 1/1000, the decimal place will be 0.001, which means after decimal point, if it's thousands, there's 30. After decimal point, there must be three numbers. Understand? So for 100, it's actually 0.01, because 100 has 20. After decimal point must have two numbers. Okay, so this is one way of looking at it. 1/10 means 0.1, which means
We basically just look at the zeros. Just like
yes. Just basically look at the zero. If there's 20, means there must be three numbers behind the decimal point. 20 means two numbers behind. 10 means one number behind the decimal point. So to me, the decimal point is like the 1, you know. After decimal point, this is the 1. If there's 10, means one number. Comparing and ordering decimal means same thing. We are always comparing from left to right. So 0.123, 0.456. Of course, we look at the first number. So if 4 is bigger than 1, then this is a bigger number. Okay? Rounding off is the same as all the rounding off you learned since primary 3, right? So it's that 56. If you round off to the nearest tens, you look at this number. If it's more than 5, you add 1. So you get. Okay? So if it's decimal, it's 0.56. You want one decimal place, means you only want one number after the decimal. You only want one number after the decimal. So you look at 6. If it's more than 5, you add 1. So round off to the one decimal place, you got 0.6. Okay? Okay. Anyway, we'll learn. As we do, we learn. Okay? Why sometimes there's 5.86 instead of 5.6? 5.86 instead of 5. I don't understand what is your question. 5.86 means 5.86 is different from 5.8. 5.6 is 5.6. 5.86 is 5.86. They're totally different. If you are rounding off to one decimal place, that means 6 is more than 1, so you add 1. So round off, you get 5.9. Any other question first before we moved on? Do I have any more questions? Why is there 5.86 and 5.6? Because they are different. You are asking me, like, your question sounds like, why is there $56 and $586? Or why is it sometimes $5.86 and sometimes $5.60? Because they are different. What are you trying to ask? You can unmute and ask. Maybe the rest can understand better what are you trying to say. Anybody? Okay, no, let's continue. Okay. 5.9867. What is... let's look at your answer first and then I continue to explain. 8 is in what place? Is it 10th or is it 100th or is it thousands? 10th? Is it in the 10th place or is it in the 100th place or is it in the 1000th place? Yes, Wen-Xing, you're correct. Wen Xing. Okay, one more person not in here. And okay, I only have one answer from Wen Xing. What's the answer for this? Okay, is it hundredths, or is it tenth, or is it thousands? If you're too lazy to type, then can you give me 1, 2, or 3? Zhi-En, we want answer 1, 2, or 3. I don't want the value. I want the place. What place? We don't want the value. We only want the place. Okay, Janelle, you're correct. Zhi-En, you're correct. Yes, so answer is 2, right? It's in the hundredth place. It's 100th place. So the first number after the decimal is 10. 1. 8 is in the hundredth place, and 7 is in the thousandth place. Okay? Answer is 2 hundredths. Okay. So if just now they ask you for the value, if they are asking you for the value, then the value of 8 is what? What's the value of 8? Can you tell me the answer? You either unmute or you can give me the answer through a chat. What is the value? Yep, you're correct. 0.08. Yes, the value is 0.08. Okay, so be careful what they are asking. But if I were to write this in what's that word called? In fraction, it's actually 800. Okay, 800. If I were to write this in words, it's actually 800. Okay, so if I want you to write 800 in decimal, 100 means 2 numbers after decimal. So it becomes 0. I need 2 numbers after decimal. So 0.8. Okay, so it's all the same story. Can? Do you understand this? Yes, huh? So how about if I were to ask you to write 9800? Can tell me what's 9800? Can you give me the answer in decimal? 9800 is what? Okay, Janelle.
Is it 0.98?
It's 0.98 because 100 means 2 numbers behind the decimal, after
Zero.
decimal point, right?
Yeah.
And then there's only 2 numbers up here. So it has to be 98. So 0.98. Okay, clear? Good. We can do the next question. Hey, let's see who got the answer. Nobody?
0.42?
Who's that?
Me.
Yes, Zhe-En, you're correct. Yes. You cannot say the answer out. You say the answer out, everybody can hear. Okay, yes, you are correct. Answer is 0.42. So like I said, 42 hundred means 100 always means 20. 20 means there must be two numbers after the decimal point. Okay, another way to look at it is 42 over 100 equals to 1 represents my decimal point, two numbers. So 42. Okay, that's how we work. Okay, now you have 3 questions. 3.5 is how many? 10? How many hundreds? And how many thousands? Yes, you can throw the rubbish away. uh, how many tens? Okay. How many 10? Mhm. How many 10? Hey, I got 3 answers. Okay. Janelle, you are correct. No, one of the number, I think that's typo error. Instead of 5, you type 4. If not, then you're all correct. Okay. Li Ling, you are correct for your A. Yes. Okay, Zi-en, not correct. Okay, so this is how it works. 3.5, how many tenths are there? How many tenths are there? How many 10? Remember, my decimal points is always my 1. That's how I look at it. So 10, right? Because there's only one number after my decimal. So the denominator has to be 10. Okay? Are you following me? My decimal is always my 1. And then there's only one number, which is 5, after my decimal. That means there's only 10. Okay? Other than that, the numerator, what are we going to write here? We just, whatever is here, we just write. So how many tenths are there? There are 35 tenths. Okay? So can you try B and C again? Can you try B and C again? Janelle, other than Janelle, the rest, can you try and give me the answer? Li Ling, you're correct for A. So can you try B now? Wen Xing, try B. It's never 5/10, okay? Because you are taking all the numerator. All the numbers in the top must be your answer. Numerators must be your answer. Any more answers? Okay. So I'm going to try teach you one more time. Second one, 1.25. What does my decimal represents? What does my decimal represents? 1. My decimal represents 1. And there's 2 numbers after my decimal. So which means there must be 2 0 behind. Okay? And then the numerators